Hi, I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the Downsizing Designer. So I came across something I wrote a few years ago, and I just wanted to share it with you because it might resonate with you, and it certainly made me smile. So the topic is I downsized again. So I started out by saying, who would want to spend a beautiful sunny day cleaning out a storage unit? And then I said I did, and I would highly recommend it to others. So it had been several years since I moved from a very large home in the country to a tiny apartment in Center City, because I'd never lived in a city before and I wanted to try that out. And at that time, I gave away 95% of my possessions to people who needed it or wanted it. But there were certain items that I just couldn't part with at that time. So I put them in a climate-controlled storage unit. And like millions of Americans, I paid an exorbitant amount of money to store my extra stuff for those 3 years, contributing to a multi-billion-dollar storage industry. The current rate is about $180 a month for about the size of the unit that I had. So for 3 years, I procrastinated, and I do admit I was stuck. I promised myself I would deal with it someday, and in the meanwhile, I was feeling annoyed that I was wasting a ridiculous amount of money, and frankly, I was overwhelmed at the thought of having to deal with it and downsize again. Some of the things that I really had thought I cherished and I couldn't let go of at the time. So finally, I challenged myself to deal with this stuff on a beautiful sunny day. I think it was late December. So I didn't have to spend another year feeling burdened by the extra stuff and also burdened by the additional wasted expense. So I was motivated to, at last accomplish something. It was a project that had been weighing down on me. And I accomplished this mission. I dispersed my stuff to various charities and then some to my own apartment. So I was excited to be finally facing what I'd been putting off for several years. I didn't expect that I would be crying over several items that I discovered even after all of that time, one of which was a crystal bowl that our mom had made her very special Christmas dessert in. And I knew that I kept the bowl so that I can continue that tradition with my own granddaughter and also be able to share that legacy my mom created each time I use it. But that was one of a few items that I actually kept. I was so glad to have the emotional support that day. My daughter-in-law came and she simply was there to help me push through the emotions of downsizing again. In these past few years, I've experienced the freedom that comes with owning less in so many ways, but nothing has been as liberating as having that peace of mind, knowing that I don't have this ridiculous expense weighing over me any longer, or all of those things that were just sitting there. So if one of your promises to yourself is to downsize your storage unit and organize and declutter your stuff, I would love to hear from you. And also, I would highly recommend it. So remember, you can live the life you love by design. And this is just one more way that you can live with less and live more.